Consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Jensvold and seconded by Derby to approve the minutes and the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
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 Passed. Consider for approval the use of courthouse grounds. I'll bet that's you.
That is me. I'm John Olson, representative of the Mama Lake Mills Area Ministerial Association. Just asking for permissions to put up the nativity scene as it has been done in past years. Dr. Doug has retired, so that's why he's not here.
Oh, well, good for him. And the time frame is the same as in the past?
Yes, December 10th, I believe, through, I can't think of the date through the top of my head.
Through January.
January, early January.
January, yeah.
Yes, and we'd be asking the Lake Mills Fire Association to put that on, if it is approved.
Okay. If there's no changes, I think we've encouraged it in the past, haven't we, gentlemen?
I think the only change we had in the past was, and whether it reflects on this or not, we tried to coordinate it with the Four City festivities too, and but this probably works just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make a motion to approve the use of the courthouse grounds for Christmas display.
I'll second it.
Motion by Derby and seconded by Jensvold to approve the use of courthouse grounds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Have a great day. So that's been approved then, huh?
Yes, please.
Working on it. So, must be a spot there or something.
Your numbers are staggered.
I think it's time for a trade.
That's
Hey, do you want to tell Julie we're ready for her whenever she's available?
Yep, she's
Oh, thank you. Bye.
I'll just hit number 4 then.
She's on her way. Hey, Julie.
Hi.
We are ready for you.
I just have an update to the treasurer's resolution naming depositories. So I just need you guys to look through that and assign and approve that. We have a name change to a bank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rake sold,
Oh, that's right.
so it's going to a different name.
Sure.
So I just wanted.
That's the only change then?
No, I've
And there's
changed
others.
the amount of dollars.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I'll let you look at that.
I'm guessing interest rates are fluctuating.
Yeah, they certainly are. But I have gotten some really good interest rates at different places in the county,
Great.
so I have invested. Just to get the better rates for right now, like 7-month CDs, and
Okay.
yeah, they're gonna keep dropping, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So we're just trying to find places that we can earn money for right now.
Safe places.
Safe places, yes.
So do you want to stamp on that too?
Because it's changing the name of a bank, which will happen on December 8th.
Okay.
But you need to have it ready for the
heck,
portion of
that's
the go through.
Let me get that one out of the way. Disregard the one.
have those go through and approved.
So you
Yeah,
I'll
you
make,
want just the approved, don't you? Or do you want them both?
well, I
No,
don't, he did the
that
wrong
was,
thing.
that was a misstamp.
So
Nicely done,
But-
Terry.
I would just go ahead and sign there and there, that way it'll be just,
yeah, you can fire me.
and then it will need to be dated, and then all the signatures there.
Okay. So I can just be on the top of this,
Sure. And then
and then Carla.
Bill and Terry.
So you have deposits in all of the banks in the county.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean,
Try,
supportive.
try to keep it all in the county and support the banks here.
I'll make a motion to approve the,
Resolution.
office procedures resolution for the treasurer.
I'll second.
A motion by Derby and seconded by Jensfeld to approve the resolution naming depositories. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
I need the original for that one. Yeah, I'll bring it down too. Oops, you guys gave it, so.
Oh. There you go.
Okay, and then the other one
Can
is
you read
here.
the other ones out loud to see what, so the public knows what you're sending?
Certainly.
It's just
That's
updated.
just that. These are not, these are something else.
That's what I'm asking about.
Oh, these?
What are you signing? Yeah.
What's that? I don't have the stamp on it.
I'm not signing any of them
Oh,
yet.
okay.
We haven't talked about them.
I'm just asking,
Well,
letting them
they
know
just
what I'm
passed
doing,
through.
I'm increasing wages.
Well, okay, so that's, well, that was the question.
I hereby
Okay.
request an hourly wage increase of $2 for Samantha Sony. Based on her review, I would like this to be
Retroactive since
isn't it rec? All right,
retroactive.
retroactive. From pay period November 1st, 2025, Samantha's doing an excellent job and exceeds her job performance. Samantha brings great customer service to this office and for the customers. I hereby request an hourly wage increase of $2.48 for Angie Worth based on her review. I would like this to be effective for the next pay period, November 1st, or November 17th, 2025. Angie exceeds her job performance and brings great customer service to the treasurer's office.
So are these based on time, longevity, right?
And where they've exceeded in the office and what they're learning. The departments and everything. Yep. All right, thank you.
All right. Number 4, auditor's office will discuss drainage matters. Chris is not here. Does anybody have anything for drainage?
Nothing's changed for me.
Did we have something in our box? Or was that just for information?
Yeah, that was just a couple of information letters.
111.
Or one, I guess.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll go to Scott, engineer. Discuss secondary road matters.
Yeah, so our guys today are mounting snow equipment on graders in preparation for a mixed storm potential coming up here in the next day or so. Plow trucks have been ready. We are, approaching December here, so the guys are trying to finish up the work order type projects for the year and put equipment away. We're switching to winter mode.
And some road grading got done last week.
Yeah, that'll continue as long as conditions are fit. The graders, even when they have their wings on and everything, are still able to do that. They have different, you know, I think they take their 2-foot extensions off both sides to a little bit more narrow. But otherwise, they are capable of blading. So I think, last year, I think we bladed a long ways into the winter and then pretty early in the spring, even some touch-ups and things like that. But in general, we try to leave the roads that are in fair condition alone so that they start to kind of pack into a crust and aren't so loose and fluffy or marbly through the winter, because then there's a higher chance of material getting thrown off the road. So that's just a kind of a game they play here with looking at the 2-week forecast or whatever and deciding what's going to be best long term.
So you're saying the procedure you have for moving to your winter mode doesn't control the weather?
We are, generally reactive to the forecast.
You don't have an app for that.
Usually there's contractors working further into the winter than we do, obviously, since we got to be quite prepared to move into winter operations. So it looks like winter. And pretty good to get, work done all the way through November.
Yeah. No excuse not to get stuff done, right? That's what we think out on the farm too. There's no excuse.
The other thing I can mention today is I believe they have the vacation of the alley and portion of the road for our shop property. I believe that's on the council agenda for Monday, the 1st. So we've been in contact, and Josh Diamond's aware of the schedule also. That's moving along as fast as it could, so that's good to hear.
Did we ever hear a dollar amount for any of that? Because that was kind of going to be on us.
For the legal services?
Yeah.
I don't think we probably will until it's done.
Imagine that's based on time and materials.
Yeah, I think what did he say, somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I have other than what's on the agenda.
Okay. Nothing else for Scott, guys, otherwise? Okay. Number 6, consider for approval adding culvert and intake near DD 18 lat 16.
So between last week and this week, I did a little bit of figuring on what the culvert size would be required to take the design flows as based on some software that we use, and also based on kind of a old school kind of a slide deck calculator. That's sort of a quick and dirty method, and they both kind of tell me something similar, which is a 24 or 30 inch culvert is what we would expect to be there. I think we have some flexibility here, as obviously it hasn't had one before, and it doesn't have a road overtopping during heavy rains. Reportedly is not the case, so I think we have some broad flexibility here, but I would recommend a 24-inch culvert.
So how do you do?
Where exactly would that go?
I think we would place it, off center from the tile so that we're not inhibiting our ability to dig up the tile in the future to fix it. So, if I were to guess, I'd say we'd look at 20 feet west of the tile or further, depending on how it kind of appears that the lowest point of the ditch was originally supposed to be. We haven't done any survey work out there to find that point. We maybe would when we went out there with our crew to put the culvert in. We kind of shoot the road and the ditches and do a little bit of guesswork on what we think it originally was.
Do you have a comment or question?
I'd sure like to know how deep, exactly where, and how much water you think this is gonna move onto my field before the board agrees to anything, because my opposition or indifference is largely gonna depend on how deep that is, how much erosion you're gonna push into my field. You get below my field level, you're gonna make a gully with a 24-inch tile on a big rain, or a culvert, I mean. You know, I hear a vague concept and not knocking the engineer, but it's kind of loose here. As to what's gonna happen and what's this gonna do.
Sure. I wrote up a little summary of it for the board, and I have addressed the drainage area that we calculated, the flow rate that we are designing for, and the proposed culvert size.
Or you just said you hadn't figured
I
it out.
don't have the depth included in here. We could, but it would take some more field work. I think, in my mind, I picture the bottom of the ditch to be maybe a foot lower than the field, and that the culvert would match the ditch bottom.
Well, there's talk of cleaning ditches and making it lower.
Right, so we have to do some work to figure out what we would set the ditch bottom elevation at, and then the culvert would follow suit. So, you know, step one is shape the ditch to how we think it should be. Step two is put a culvert in that matches the ditch bottoms.
There's some pretty significant ditch bottom difference between the north and the south sides of that road. Which ditch you're basing it off of is gonna have a pretty big impact on how deep that tile culvert is.
I think if I remember right, the south side is pretty close to maybe what it could stay at, and then the north side had a pretty significant amount to dig out. That's how my memory serves me. And, you know, I think the elevation from the fence line, let's call it the top of the back slope on one side or the other, is quite a dramatic difference, I think, right? So we would have to do some determination there to see what fits best without harming the property. You know, culverts always concentrate flow, so that's a struggle in a lot of different places, trying to maintain an outlet that doesn't wash away and keeping it stabilized, especially in the, you know, short term before all the grass is established and everything. Sometimes if it's bad enough, we'll use a little bit of riprap or erosion stone too to try to hold things together temporarily.
So with the intakes though, it's not the culvert is not the only place that water is going to flow.
Yeah, after this I would anticipate with the amount of pressure relieved by the culvert for surface water that maybe the intakes won't boil. If they do, the culvert will, you know, even them out so that it'd be the same on both sides in the ditches. That being said, the place it's going to go is into the south field and sit before it goes in the north field, because the north field, you know, slopes up pretty quickly from the road. He does have a spot kind of closer to the acreage driveway where it sits water, it sounds like. But again, we have 2-foot contours that we're basing this off for. And we haven't done any GPS survey work out there. You know, we have these 2-foot contour maps that the DNR has, right? You can see this. This is the road up here, and then this red spot is the lowest, and that's the spot in his field. So you would expect that to be the place where it starts, and once it gets deep enough, it'll creep into the north field and further out into his. And it looks like it needs to get, how deep does it need to get before it would run overland south? Pretty deep?
Real deep.
Yeah, so it's going to be waiting.
Your road will be covered before it goes south.
Okay, so we'll be waiting for the tile to catch up.
less than optimistic that this will stop boiling. Mr. Nelson has a lot of slope grade.
Sure.
I don't know, he's got the tile, there's a lot of water coming down that line.
Yeah, no, certainly no guarantees for me on that. Taking surface pressure off could help.
Mhm.
That's about as far as I can go with that.
So the only way to find out what the depth of that culvert is gonna be would be to take some shots of both sides
Yeah, we
and,
could survey the road top, the ditches, a little bit out in the field and see what we think makes the most sense.
Mhm.
You know, when we got waterways on both sides, it's kind of easier to match. In this case, where, you know, the culvert's functioning a lot as just an evener.
right,
Make sure that the water on one side of the road isn't significantly higher than the other. And not so much just to pass it from one waterway to the next and on down. And,
so once we determine the depth that that wants to be, how far out are you in being able to do it?
like I said, we're put away for the fall.
Mhm.
What this would be, it's a couple days worth of work. We could most likely do it in the spring. How much of a priority this is a function of many factors. I think I'll take your direction on that. I'm sure, you know, Rob's anxious to get something done so that he doesn't have to deal with springtime flooding there, or, you know, from a lesser degree. That's probably the main factor in timeline. And there might be 20 or 30 of those type of projects where a farmer's got some flood risk if we don't get something done.
Don't feel bad, I was 83rd on the list one time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott.
Yeah, it's,
Just to summarize a little bit, so are we thinking putting the intake back in the county ditch and then putting this culvert in?
I think that's the proposal.
That was the
yeah.
general consensus, I believe.
In that scenario, during high flows, the water's gonna come gushing through there and do what it will and even out. But then low flow, or eventually, you know, the water will hopefully seep back to the ditches and then find an intake and kind of dry out that culvert.
I think we all were surprised that there wasn't a culvert in that spot. 50 years ago.
Assuming this change all happens, this is a addition to the drainage district and subject to reclassification under the Iowa statute.
We aren't changing the tile system. And we don't believe we're changing the direction or path of the water.
Well,
That understanding of reclassification would.
You're just trying to protect your road for one.
Yeah, and when we, look at the original drainage maps, right? Here we are with the tile. And it shows this low ground here that it's chasing, and that's the general direction we're sending the water over ground rather than the tile, we'll call it. But not changing the direction that the water flows.
and this is all to get back to the natural flow of the water. Because, the road changed the drainage district in a sense, and the tile is what's been equalizing the pressure when there should have been a culvert to maintain the natural flow of the water.
I agree with that.
was what should have been if there wasn't a road there. I mean, I don't get me, I don't want problems on your side either.
I know.
The only way to really solve the problem is put in a much bigger tile there to get rid of it for both of you. But,
Talk about that then.
then that's a
Yeah.
improvement.
Mhm.
Then you gotta go through all the hoops and it's usually relatively expensive.
That's why we don't like asking for it, why we don't ask lightly, but I'm kind of getting back into that corner, I feel a little bit. I'm gonna get more water faster, I had a big enough mess this year, I have a big mess every year. 3-inch rain turns into a pond.
But also taking that, intake out on the one side of the road made the mess on his side worse.
I am apparently learning hard lessons, and yeah, mea culpa, but, it doesn't change the fact there's a lot of
I mean,
water.
if you guys want an improvement there, I mean, you're more than welcome to put in a petition for it. Then it'll come to a vote. If there's enough people support it, it'll happen.
That's a pretty small area, your number of voters is about that big.
Sometimes one guy owns enough land, he can control it all, and the rest of them just have to go along with it. And we've had things like that before too, so.
I'm real close.
But you would also be,
Yeah, I gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of water to deal with.
yeah, no, in a perfect world, that's what needs to be done.
When was the last, oh, Chris isn't here, so we don't know when it was classified last.
5 years ago when the 4-foot main was put in down on Route 11.
5?
Roughly 5, 6.
I don't know if 16 is all by itself. Well, it should have been classified when we did the whole ditch clean out, I think. So it was reclassified a few years ago.
And it looks like
So-
almost entirely the water draining into that tile would be Andrews land and Nelson land, maybe a little.
Yeah, I would
Newsom,
say it's pretty much this.
Mm-hmm.
but it goes through.
And then,
This goes a different direction, so this one
Is
might
it-
be going this way.
I can't remember, is this where we went under the railroad tracks earlier?
Yeah.
And so that's already been upsized going
That
under
was
the
an
tracks, right?
improvement, so definitely
So-
got reclassified.
Yeah. So if we, which in theory was supposed to get rid of the downstream water faster so the upstream water could flow better. We were hoping that would be
The lateral between the road and that 4-foot culvert is shot. It's a 100-year-old clay tile that's falling apart. Part of my taking that intake out was to go fix that thing because it collapsed. What I took out was broken.
And you're talking about lat 16 or?
Yes.
Okay.
We had a blowout in the road ground. I'm guessing from pressure.
So that might be something if a repair has to be done just to,
Well, I did the repair. The county will come back in and put it back, but, my tile guy expects that if the intake does not go back in, he basically warned me when I did it, I'm gonna get blow-offs further down lat 16.
I was just gonna say, it should have created more pressure on that old line by taking that out.
It might, but I've also got parallel lines to it, so I've taken a lot of my waters off of that line
Yeah.
already.
Mhm.
this doesn't give size.
The line itself isn't big enough for even just Mr. Nelson's water.
8-inch.
But in respect to the
10
side of
inch.
it, we've had a lot of rain and
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Last two springs have been a little rough.
6 inches at a crack, no tile put up with that, so,
Yeah.
I mean.
And people
overall,
haven't
it's
been
not
able
a-
to get in to do deep tillage to break that hard pan, that's been that's
Oh.
happened with all that water in there too, so.
How much cover does that old clay tile have in your low ground? So,
Feed at best,
I was gonna say, probably not enough, hardly.
not much.
I know we farm some ground where we don't even go in that with the grain cart. We don't even like to combine it with the grain tank full, you know.
Between the field and the driveway, so on that side of the field, I don't have much choice.
Oh, yeah, that's a little trout, yeah.
Try to take it west, but there's a driveway there on that northeast corner that's nice to use this small.
Yeah. I wonder what the original depth of that tile was. What they had, I mean, that's one of the things that,
None of that old tile is ever very deep, you know, and 30 inches is probably as good as you got. A lot of, you know, yeah, you're going for a hill, maybe they have deeper, but below is 24, 30 is maybe less is possible in my experience.
Well, you're welcome to look at the original depths, but
I'd rather have new plastic.
yeah.
So on our agenda today is to consider for approval adding a culvert and intake near DD 18 lot 16, but am I hearing that you're interested in signing some improvement or repair or,
Really shouldn't have anything to do with this, so.
no? I'm just,
They're all
but do we
set.
do the culvert if that's gonna be the case? Still?
I think
Yes?
Mhm.
Okay, there you go. So if Scott's gonna figure the depth of it and find out where that culvert's gonna go and replace that intake.
Sure. Do you
Next-
want me to
next
include
spring
a
and-
little more information about the depths of the culvert and the sort of layout
Yeah.
of the land?
And
So
it,
that we have something that can be reviewed by
Yep.
all parties.
Because we're not gonna be doing anything till next spring anyway at the earliest, so.
Okay, so we'll take this draft report, we'll work on it,
and as,
table the issue.
yes, and as far as priorities, it does not need to go to the top of the list. It needs to be somewhere in the,
I think the question is, does it fit in with tile crossings and tile blowouts, or does it fall in with, you know, culvert fixes and separations and holes in the road? You know, but
I think we'll let
it's
you,
harder to find
I
something.
think we'll let you,
It might be something
Review
you can
that.
bring us the list sometime to look at, and
Sure,
see,
we can look that.
look it over and see where the priority should be.
okay. Any other discussion, comments?
Let's see, can I get contact information from you guys, at least emails, before you leave?
Anything else, Scott, that you have? Okay, and we're gonna go to number 7, consider for approval fiscal year 25 gap report.
Did we vote on putting the culvert and intake back in?
Not until we have more information,
Oh,
right?
we're gonna table, oh, all right, all right. So is your dad's name Bruce? I had some fun conversations with him years ago. So,
Good, that makes sure I be worried.
yeah. It's, in his shop, there were some pretty handy guys in there. Yeah. I sold him some Apollo 2020 chicken manure back in 2012.
I think I may have heard that story.
Yeah, he's you tell him hi. We did a lot of laughing. And it wasn't at your expense.
Okay. Chicken there always is fun.
Carla, do you wanna tell us what the gap report is?
It's the generally accepted accounting principles, financial report that we're required to do every year. varies from the cash report, because it, we put in accrued expenses and revenues, so it encompasses that.
So you need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 25 gap report.
I'll second the motion.
A motion by Genswold and seconded by Derby to approve the fiscal year 25 gap report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Open forum. Anything for open forum today?
Yes. There were some claims that needed to be paid. Is emergency the correct term? I'm not sure. And then we need some more signatures. Lori forgot to add a couple of things for you. I think you've already seen them, she just didn't have them in there enough times, because we've got to send it to the school, and we've got to send it to an attorney, and different things like that.
So will you,
The public measure that passed.
so will you, need a separate motion on that claim?
It's not on the agenda,
So it'll just get combined with next
it'll
week?
get combined with next week's.
Typically when we get those, from each office, those pay increases usually go to your office first and then come here.
Correct.
And so the ones we stamped today received will hopefully come back to your office to make the change?
Hopefully.
Otherwise,
Otherwise
it
they won't
doesn't
get
really
changed.
affect it.
Well, and we don't like to do pay increases retroactive unless we have to. So
It's a little bit of
it's,
struggle with the books, I'm sure.
yeah. I mean, we have the documentation to back it up, but it's also the external, it's just one more question I have to ask or answer at audit time.
Can you just send them down to another office
What? Oh,
to answer the question?
Send Elizabeth down there.
it's just, yeah. Maybe we'll take care of it. It's just, you understand what I'm saying,
Yep.
right?
I don't think I'd wanna have to do it.
So you don't need anything other than signatures on this abstract of votes too,
Correct.
all right? Anything else for open forum? Anybody have anything to say? Got a lot of visitors today. All right, well then, we stand adjourned.